everybody, it's Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway. World of Outlaw Real American Beer late models come to the bull ring tomorrow night, and we have got Ruben Mireles, the World of Outlaw Late Model Announcer, and Steve Francis, World of Outlaw Director, coming on the show later on this morning. Worth another round of applause. And of course, my co-host Stephen Lewis, along with Dale, the producer. Going to be an awesome show, which, by the way, is also brought to you by us at Grand Forks Best Source. When it comes to podcasts and social media, stick with the best. Grand Forks Best Source. Keep up to date with local happenings and news, interviews with city leaders, athletes, nonprofits, and of course, lots of feel-good stories. You know, Grand Forks Best Source is a great way to advertise your business or events with the most economical ad packages available. And contact us to find out how you can have your own podcast with the best studio in the area. Check out Grand Forks Best Source on your favorite social media app. Grand Forks Best Source, the Forks' best local podcast. Call 701-213-0863 or online at gfbestsource.com. We love the Forks. Grand Forks Best Source, giving the Forks their identity again. We are back, everybody. Dirty Thursday brought to you by River Cities Speedway. If you have any questions or comments, good morning, Nick Curtis. He's on the ball again, man. Feel free to call or text. Our number is 701-213-0863, 701-213-0863. Let's get it out of the way. Daily segment called Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Here we go. Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. How are women like fireworks? How are women like fireworks? Well, they both look great from a distance, dangerous up close, and can be ignited by the smallest spark. That's supposed to be my 4th of July joke.
That's what she said.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Let's do our track schedules. Dirty Thursday track schedules brought to you by Forks Karting Association. You can watch the karts race Wednesday nights at the Forks Karting Speedway at the Grand Forks Fairgrounds. Find out more by going to forkskartingassociation.com. And of course, we don't ever talk about I-94 Speedway in Fergus Falls, but we're going to because the World of Outlaw Late Models are there tonight. I-94 Speedway in Fergus. Of course, they are here tomorrow with the Wissota Street Stocks and the Wissota Midwest Modifieds. And then they go to Norman County Raceway in Ada. That'll be a Saturday show with the late models and the IMCA stock cars. Going on Red River Valley Speedway. They are off. They're off for a while.
For about 3 weeks.
What, did they do that for the fair or what?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so they're off for a couple of weeks.
Fair's getting longer and longer down there.
Yeah,
so,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Devils Lake Speedway on Saturday, the Cliff Reeves Memorial $1,004 to win street stock special. They got the Western Renegade non-wing sprints, the Pure Stocks, and Dale's all keyed up. INEX Legends are going to be there too. Greenbush, what do we got going on here? Greenbush, the Dugan Memorial. Mm-hmm. Mods, Midwest Mods, Lightning Sprints, Pure Stocks, 4 cylinders, all at Greenbush. And that's all we got. Oh, also that Ride for Nick is coming up. Nick Minsky Bike, Car, and Truck Run. Kid-friendly, Saturday, August 23rd. Free will donation. They'll start at Up North Pizza and East Side. They'll be on the road, and we'll be talking a lot more about that in the upcoming weeks. Let's, while we're talking about Forks Karting Association, let's get a Forks Karting Association update with Dale, the producer.
Yeah, it was a big night at Forks Karting Speedway yesterday. Stephen Lewis was there. It was great. Always great seeing him there. And I saw Kylan Vargas in there. I gave him a big shout out, too, for his first feature win at Greenbush last weekend. But as far as the Forks Karting races, I want to highlight 2 races, 2 first-time feature winners in their class. The novice rookie feature winner, Decker Irie, he got very, very good. Him and the front runners were running amidst lap traffic, and it worked out for him. Right place, right time in the final corner, and he got his first ever feature win at 5 years old. Had a great post-race interview with him, and he just had this priceless look on him. I mean, in the best way possible. And then also Brandon Anderson. He's been running the senior Yamahas for 3 years, and he
incredible.
Yeah, and what a big race he showed. And talking to him after the races, you nailed it, Stephen. He said patience. He played perfectly, timed his moves, and he was just a very emotional post-race interview with him. He was He put a lot of work into it. Highly recommend everyone check out the complete night of races, the mid-season track championship. It was a great night. Go to Forks Karting on Facebook or YouTube to check it out. And every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the summer, except next week, special Tuesday races for Forks Karting because of the 4th of July week.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Brandon's win. I always make a point to go up there and watch the Yamahas or whatever. I wish there was more of them, but yeah, Brandon for a few laps there was just setting up Brian, and it got past Kaylee, chased Brian down, got to him, and just set him up and just waited for a hole to open up, and he took it and walked away from there. So I think his dad said something like he hadn't won out there since like 2015 or something. And
Wow.
Yeah, so that was good. And then of course, little Camber, junior one wing cart kind of was going long or whatever. She spun out going for second, went to the back, and then charged from the back to second again. So it was, that kind of made my day too. And but yeah, so another good night at the kart track for sure.
All right, a couple of people already joining in. Good morning, guys. Tommy Corcoran. I don't know what Kaylee is saying with Better Watch It, John. Hello from southern Minnesota. Chewy, Jeff Cornell's watching the show. Todd Adams, Nick Curtis, everybody. And by the way, look who is joining us now. Let's see, World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Model Director Steve Francis, and of course, Ruben Mireles, the Late Model Announcer. How you guys doing?
We're sitting here at I-94.
Yeah, ready to rock and roll, kick off 4 nights. I see my good friend Steven. Steven, good to see you.
I was about to say no offense to Steve, but I was like, look at that face on the right. I can't help but smile when I see that face. So,
John, thanks for having us, man. Looking forward to working with you guys.
Oh, you know what? It is always so much fun when you guys come up to the bull ring. We love having you guys, and it's always... It's fun. There's like no freaking bad vibes or nerves or anything, because sometimes when some of the big shows come in, it gets that way. But you guys are always fun to work with. I absolutely love it. Tell us a little bit about Fergus. How's it looking down there at I-94?
Right now, we've had no liquid precipitate.
I know what you mean.
rain.
Right now, nothing's hit here yet. They got a little bit yesterday, but Don's got the place, ready to go. Looks like we might have a quick little something come through here about 1 o'clock, and we're still rocking and rolling, ready to go.
All right, now, I wanted to ask both of you this. I mean, of course, guys like us that have been around this for a long time, we know a little bit about you, but the people that don't. Steve Francis, World of Outlaw Director, how did you get your start in the whole thing, being the
all the way back to the beginning.
Okay, sure, let's do it.
I was a kid back, first, second grade. All the other kids are drawing firemen, policemen, what they want to be, and I was drawing race cars.
Yep.
My parents took me to the racetracks from the time I was very, very little, and was fortunate enough that they were in a position. My dad owned a business, and he was in a position to get me and my brother started in it, and we built it for a while, and then he passed in 2001. My brother did. And I continued to race. I was that guy that said at 40 years old, you'd never see me in another racetrack, and I'm 57, and I'm still here now. So, the sport was good to me. There's a lot of things I could do to probably make more money than I do doing this with a lot less headache. But, it was good to me, and I want to try to give back what I can to it. I've experienced just about every aspect of it. My wife's parents were promoters of racetracks. Back in Kentucky, so sometimes she'll look at me and say, you're putting your helmet on too tight, or your promoter hat on too tight, and she kind of keeps me balanced through all of it. This job does allow me and her to travel and spend time with our family, and we've got our little girl out here with us, so it's kind of a fun little. We try to make it a little bit more family atmosphere too.
Sure.
You talked about that vibe there. That's what we would try to make it a family atmosphere.
Now, how was it going from driver to doing what you are doing now? Was it a big transition? Was it hard?
The driver, you're worried about your 20 by 20 area in the pit area. As a series director, you're worried about the 40 guys that are 30, 40 guys at the racetrack the fans, the promoters. It's a lot bigger headache.
Sure. Now, are there people where you've just had to just go say, you know what, I'm done with you. Get away from me. We'll talk sometime else, like in a year.
We've had a few of them where I've told every one of these drivers that have signed up to be platinum drivers on the tour, there'll be a point at this year that you will be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the night, let's sit down and have a beer. Or the next day, let's sit down and have a beer or something, talk about it.
Yeah, is it good to have like a 24-hour rule? I mean, because I get down.
You have to.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't.
I'm a road rage guy. I mean, just driving home from freaking the studio here, and I mean, I want to chase people down all across town and then take them out and choke them. But
Amanda and I live by that. Like, just sleep on it and see if you're still mad about it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, most of them are passionate about the racing, and what they do is the way they make their living. So you expect that, if you're not passionate about it, you don't need to be doing it. And I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about making World of Outlaws Late Models the best I can possibly make them. Mother Nature the last year and a half has been hard on me, but what don't kill you makes you stronger too.
Yeah, and speaking of Mother Nature, it seems like it's never good to us when the World of Outlaw Late Models come up here.
Yeah,
I mean, last year we were lucky we had a rain date.
You guys have been a drought buster, unfortunately, over the years. I was gonna ask you guys, and I think Ruben specifically on this matter. Have you guys gotten a race in at I-94 in your era with the series, Ruben?
Yeah, actually, that was the year Bobby Pierce won, and that was 2 years ago. And then it was the year before when Frank Henkenes won. So 2 races have been completed at I-94. I was still doing Summer Nationals when Frankie won here, but I've only gotten one in our era, which is 1 in 3 years, and hopefully we get tonight in.
Yep.
Say, I wanted to ask you, Ruben, because I remember how it all went down. I don't know how it went down, but when you started, how did you get your start in being a race announcer, and how did you get in with the World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Models?
He doesn't have to go back very far. You can see how young he is there.
Oh yeah, right. Do we lose him?
Oh boy, did we lose him?
Go ahead.
Yeah, yellow.
We
might have lost him.
I'll work on getting him back here.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll wait for an answer there, but
Oh wait, we got him back.
okay.
Did we get him back? Okay, good.
Okay, Ruben, did you hear the question? No, we don't have.
Oh, we had
You got now. There we go.
There we
go.
go.
We're sketching out here. Ruben, I want to know how you got your start announcing racing and how you ended up with the World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Models.
Yeah, long story short, when I was a kid, my grandpa always had me out there working and always said you have to work for what you want. So I had that mentality. Never really watched TV until one day that I was working with my dad, and they said I couldn't be on the job site, too young. And they were building a church, actually, and it was a Sunday, so he took me home, and I didn't know what to do. So there was this thing called a TV that I never really watched, and I turned it on, and it was NASCAR at Talladega. So then, long story short, I liked it. So every Sunday I started watching it because it was cool, and the big one, all that stuff, Talladega. Well, come about 2 months later, my dad bought 4 acres across the mountain and built a shop, and we just built a brand new shower, and when we put tile, we put newspaper over it, and we saw an advertisement. I saw it, El Paso Speedway Park, and I was like, man, NASCAR don't come to El Paso. That's crazy. And I remember it was Bumper Jones on the cover, and no one in my family likes racing. So it took my dad a lot of convincing. That was May. We finally went 4th of July weekend, fireworks, sprint cars, all that stuff. He's like, yeah, this is good to come like once a month. And I'm like, no, they race every Friday.
Yeah.
So I knew if I wanted him to continue taking me every weekend, I had to teach him, like, hey, the track changes, there's point systems, all that stuff. And I basically told him, pick a driver and root for that driver. And he got into it because I educated him about it. So it was just a father-son thing. Well, Brian Holbert, who was the announcer for the El Paso and Southern New Mexico Speedway, would always promote Saturday night. Come on out, Southern New Mexico Speedway. So next thing you know, 7 years went by. We'd go every Friday, Saturday. And Candace is a lady that we sat with in Las Cruces. My dad ended up sponsoring one of the drivers because we wanted a race car, but we wouldn't know what we'd be doing. So there was this old couple that sit in front of us. And they would always run on this 12 car. He was great, held his line, but he built his own stuff, very underfunded. Long story short, we sponsored him, won the championship the next year.
Wow.
So it's championship night, Southern New Mexico Speedway. And Candace, this lady, diehard race fan. Every racetrack has one, right? She knows what every driver had for lunch. She knows every driver's stories. And she knew the announcer. So that night, my dad had a bad ankle, and I always go to the pit area, get their autographs, even though I already had it 1,000 times. And Royal Jones, the owner at the time, still owner is out there, Votto, but he gave me an opportunity to do two trophy dashes, and I did them. And Brian Holbert retired at the end of that year. And I took over 2012, and my high school job was to work with Garrett Alberson at the shop for 4 years. That's where my passion for late models came from. So I learned everything from siping to grooving to bead locks and a tire. I did that for 6 months straight and grinding them. And the next thing you know, he got me onto other stuff. I learned about the fifth coil. I learned about it. We got a brand new J. Dickens one time, and it blew. And I took out the right side parts. Garrett took out the left side parts. Like, he taught me body work, everything. And that's where my passion for late models came from. And long story short, Rick Eshelman, really, he took me under his wing. 2017, he stops by my hometown, says, "Hey, I got something for you." I'm like, "Okay." So I take him out to lunch, and he's all like, "Man, I'm getting too old for this stuff. Would you like to do the Summer Nationals?" And I'm like, "Man, that's crazy." Like, me and Garrett would literally watch the Hell Tour on Dirt on Dirt back in the day, and it was awesome to get that opportunity. I'd never been to Eastern Time Zone. He's like, "Just fly to Charlotte, meet Sam Driggers." I'm like, "Okay." So it was 5 best summers of my life, and 2020, Rick helped me become the first ever pit reporter for the World of Outlaws Late Models on Dirt Vision, and it just kind of escalated from there. Unfortunately, not the way I wanted to inherit the position.
Sure.
He had a vision of me and him going side by side. Actually, it would have been this year, his 50th year, and he wanted to pass it on to me at Charlotte. But no, of course, the passing of Eshelman, and I'm just thankful and grateful that I was in the right spot to take over and fill the big shoes.
I've got stories.
He called me numerous times trying to get it.
I've got a couple of Rick Eshelman. He actually got his start here at River Cities Speedway back in his Air Force days or whatever. But what really got me, and I kind of hit on this at the beginning of the show, how fun you guys are to work with. When the other Outlaw guys are here, they do their thing and all that stuff. And I remember sitting up there with Rick, and he goes, "Hey, you want to call this last race with me?" And I'd never done that before. So I thought that was really cool. But here's another thing I wanted to ask you too, Ruben. For me, when I took over, because I was down in the pits, in the infield like you were, and I thought I had really big shoes to fill. There were a few times I was supposed to fill in when he was gone, and we got rained out every time, and I felt, wow, I'm glad. I'm glad, because I'm nervous about this. I've been doing play-by-play sports on the radio for 40 years, but I was nervous about that. But to me, it was trying to fill those big shoes. Were you nervous about trying to fill Rick Eshelman's shoes?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously Hall of Famer, and he was really good at what he did, and me and him had conversations in the past, right? Like I would always tell him, like, I wish I was more like you, and I could throw a joke in there and something like that, because I'm not a funny person. I'm really not. And he's so good at that. He's like, it's funny because I kind of wish I was like you and I was more energetic. So we had our differences, but we're our own worst enemy, right? It's like golf, right? They say it's a 5-inch game. It's all in your head, right? So same thing there. It was all mental, but yeah, of course I was scared. But one of the best pieces of advice I ever got from Rick Eshelman, 2014, he came to El Paso, and we had made the turn onto the racetrack, and I said, "Ooh, I just got very bad butterflies." And he's all like, "That's good. If you ever lose that means you don't care, because if you get butterflies, that means you care and you want to do good." And still to this day, I get them.
Yeah. And do you still have the drive and desire every single night to do it? Because I don't think there's a time I ever don't want to be at the racetrack.
Yeah, no, and I'm not just saying this because boss man's sitting just right next to me, but I mean, I always put it in my notes, and I can show you. I always put 130% job on my notepad at the top left, because I know my position is very valuable, and I know there's a lot of announcers that would love to be in my position, and I know it's it's a big role with being packed grandstands, being dirt vision, nationwide, and it's the top of the top in dirt late model racing you can get. So I always know that my position. I don't want to say is up for grabs because I want to be here for a lifetime, but there's other announcers that want it, so I never let my guard down, and always make sure to put the hard work in, because the minute I stop, I know there's another one that would want to be here.
Right. All right, we got to take just a quick break, you guys. We'll be back here in about 1 minute on Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River Cities Speedway. Life doesn't ever seem to slow down. Everything needs to be done right now. Well, when it comes time for an oil change, stop into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Most changes are done in about 15 minutes. Valvoline Instant Oil Change does more too. Tranny and coolant flushes, tire rotations, and batteries. And included in your oil change, they're going to top off your fluids. Check your tires, battery, lights, wipers, and cabin air filter too. And you get discounts for fleets and the military. You know, they can text and email invoices and coupons and mention Grand Forks Best Source and get $10 off your oil change. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. They're open Monday through Saturday with no appointment needed. Pickup and delivery is also available if you live in Grand Forks. And Valvoline Instant Oil Change is now hiring. If you'd like to join their team as an assistant manager, customer service rep, or lube tech, stop in to find out more. Valvoline Instant Oil Change for a complete oil change and more. They're at 3325 South 38th Street or call them 701-780-8462 and make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. All right, here we go. Dirty Thursday brought to you by River Cities Speedway, World of Outlaw Real American Beer Late Model Announcer Ruben Mireles with us. Also, the director, Steve Francis. And we were talking about the fact that I'm still jacked every time I go to the racetrack. I've got a 2-day fishing tournament starting tomorrow. So I'll be on the water tomorrow morning at about 4 a.m. We'll fish. And normally I would take this day off, but not with the Outlaws coming. So I'm going to go to the fair or go to the racetrack and do the races tomorrow night and then be back on the river again Saturday morning at 4. So I am really keyed up. Steve, I don't know, Brad Sang reached out to you guys, and I sure appreciate Brad doing that. I mean, I know Ruben. I think I've maybe met you, Steve, a couple of times, but we didn't talk too much. But if somebody hasn't been to a World of Outlaw late model show, what can they expect and who to watch for?
Well, naturally, Bobby Pierce is going to be our he's our current points leader, has more wins on this season, but we have our roster is probably our 15 platinum drivers is probably as deep a group of drivers that there's ever been assembled. I mean, our 15th place guy can win a race. It's not like starting park guys. So, we have a really, really deep roster this year. Kind of the cool one up here. Everybody in this area knows Donnie Schatz, and both his nieces are going to be with us this weekend with Super Late Models with the Open Competition Motors. So, Donnie, I know I've talked to him a couple of times about it. He's really excited. He would love to be able to race this swing up here with us. If this 4 race deal that we do up here between I-94, River City, Ada, and Minot. But it just with his busy schedule, it's just really cool that he's sending his nieces out here to get to do this. Looking like 32 car fields this weekend, all weekend long. So, getting a lot of support. With the Wasota engine package, a little different. Some of them guys are at a little bit of a disadvantage with that. Where the open competition motors, puts them guys at a little bit of disadvantage, but still great to have them come out and race with us and compete with us.
Have you met the girls, the Eisenchain girls? Have you talked to them before?
Very, very briefly. Is
okay.
All I have.
Great kids. Yeah, they are great kids.
I know Donnie well enough to know that, like Ruben talked earlier, he makes sure that they have that work ethic in them and understand the situation they're in.
Yep.
They were grooving and siping with Zach and laying vinyl and working around the clock in the shop all week. So.
We do have somebody texted saying, our team had a blast at this show last year. Being parked by the best of the best was a fun experience. The vibe was like no other. We're looking forward to having them back. Wish it could be twice a season like the sprint cars. That's coming from the team. She won the National Wasota Midwest Modified Rookie of the Year last year.
And
that's
I think
coming
that was
from their team.
I think that race last year was her first front row start. I was watching it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we were watching it in a trailer. I had to go to Watertown last year and missed it here, unfortunately. But yeah, she started up front in that one. It didn't end up the best or whatever. But yeah, it was just kind of fun to watch the whole show when we weren't out with our feature. But
that's one of the cool things about this is you're talking about the Midwest Modifieds. They're going to be in front of more people nationally with Dirt Vision coverage and everything like that than they ever really get to be. On Dirt Vision to Grandma can stay home and watch. If she's in Florida retired, she can watch.
Yep.
She might only get to watch one time a year, but that's the time she gets to do it. So that's kind of the cool thing about it too. Is our goal has always been butts in the seats, but you also want to make sure that you balance that with faraway family, people that can't get there, things like that. It's not all about the streaming side. It takes every side of it to make this work, and butts in the seat has always been a World of Outlaws, World Racing Group goal.
So when you guys travel all around the country, track to track, the dirt is so different everywhere. I mean, up here, I meet people from the South, they've never seen dirt so black. You guys go somewhere else, it's red. But talk about the differences a little bit from here when you make this trip up north compared to, say, when you're down south or out west.
Well, probably from here to Talladega short track, right there at the Talladega Super Speedway, is the most drastic difference. The Talladega dirt is so red it's almost orange.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Stains everything. Can produce some excellent racing. Just generally a harder, blacker, slicker surface at the end of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Where up here, this brown dirt, I call it almost brown, almost black dirt.
Yep.
Seems to really produce more of a cushion, that you can get up with the right rear tire on, and a little more aggressive racing up this way.
Mm-hmm. So what about River Cities Speedway compared to, I know Ada's a little bigger, it's a little faster. Fergus is definitely faster track. What do you guys think here when they come to the little bull ring at River Cities Speedway? Because like you said, Steve, it's racy.
Generally, Brad and his group do such a good job with that surface and that facility. Everybody loves coming. This is a swing that everybody loves coming to. Now, it's a long way up here. I'm not going to short that by any stretch. It's a long way from Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee to Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody loves this swing because the people are very, very welcoming. They love having us here. They're supportive of the late models. And like you said, just that fun atmosphere we're trying to promote.
So that was something I didn't think about actively. Like, I knew where the 4 tracks you guys are going this week. 3 of them are 3/8, and then you come to our little bull ring here. Like, you kind of got a pretty good mix of everything coming up this week, right?
Yeah, but Ada's 3/8 is way different than I-94's 3/8.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're both called 3/8 mile racetracks, but completely different characteristics, different the way you drive them, different the way you race on them, prepare for them, everything else.
So is there a go-to food when you get up here in the tundra for you guys?
How can you not be in this north area? I know we're not in Wisconsin, but how can you not go after the cheese curds up here that are real true cheese curds? What you get. You could get cheese curds in Bowling Green, Kentucky, where I live, but they're not the same as they are up here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now,
at River Cities, you got to get the walking taco. That's the best walking taco in all dirt track.
oh, they've got some new food there too now this year that you're gonna like. I tell you, I love their new homemade hand dipped deep fried corn dogs. I mean, I say this all the time. You can hear your arteries harden as you eat them. They are so good. And then they're going to try out some ribs. I had a half a rack of ribs at the fair the other day with fries, and they're going to try that too. So that'll be fun.
Scotty and the whole crew just knock it out of the park every week.
Our concessions are great. Now, I wanted to ask you guys this because when the other Outlaws are here, the sprint cars, usually they're here for 3, 4, 5, 6 days because it's that little lull in the action. But if you were up here for that long and you had a break, would you guys go home? Would you stay up here? Because there's so much to see and do up here, but you guys are so dang busy. I mean, that back to back to back to back where you're zip ball over from town to town to town. But would you guys ever want to stay up here for a few days, or would you still say, nah, I need to go home for a bit?
I would love to stay up here, just go fishing, relaxing. There's a lot of things up here that, you don't get to see in the South as much. It just seems like there's always something to do. Talked to my mom and dad at home yesterday. It was 97 degrees at home. It's like 67 up here today. So,
yeah.
That's a heck of a difference there. So golf courses are beautiful up here. It seems like, just the weather makes them so much better than the ones in the South even.
Well, I tell you what.
Golf for that too.
Yeah.
Same thing. Golf courses are beautiful. That's what we love to do.
So do you guys always drag your clubs around with you throughout the year?
Oh,
yeah, me and Ruben played. We actually played
Waterloo?
Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Monday.
All right.
Sunday, yep.
Well, if you guys ever do get to spend a day up here, make sure you let me know, and I'll take you out fishing. Like I said, I'm going to tournament tomorrow and Saturday, so we're pretty keyed up about that. So we're kicking it off. And pardon me?
What kind of fishing do you actually do?
This is a channel catfish tournament. The channel catfish we catch up here, there will be plenty of 20-pounders caught, if not bigger. So yeah, it's in fact the Red River that runs through Grand Forks they consider the best channel catfishery in the country. The river flows north, so actually the farther north you go, it seems like the fish are bigger. But yeah, we be a 50-team tournament. There's a lot of money involved, and hopefully it goes well for us. We took 5th in it last year. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And in our river here, we can catch anything from the catfish to carp to walleye, northern smallmouth bass, sturgeon. There's many different species of fish up here. But
I just got back from Alaska and actually did the salmon fishing and all that. And then my in-laws have a place on Lake Okeechobee and do a lot of crappie fishing.
Oh, sure. I love cold water crappie. And in fact, I was just in Alaska in May, and I went halibut fishing. That time. And the funny thing is, down in southern Alaska, usually the weather's nicer than it is here. When I was up there, it was 50 degrees and raining the entire time I was there. And here it was 98 degrees at the beginning of May. And it was like that for, what, a week?
When you went fishing, did you go just for the halibut? Or
just for the halibut. There we go. There's your drum.
That's a Rick Eshelman joke right there, if I've ever heard one. So anyway.
So you're ready for the big swing. Fergus tonight, River Cities Speedway tomorrow, then up to Ada Saturday, Minot Sunday. I did want to mention, I wanted to throw a little bone to Ada because after you guys were there last year for the first time, they really upped their game, and a lot of it had to do with the World of Outlaw Late Models coming. I mean, with the new grandstands and all of this stuff. That little town, that was like, boy, they ain't seen the likes of something like that coming through that little town in a long time. You guys got a lot of people hooked on the World of Outlaws around Norman County now.
I will say last year it was really cool to go to Norman County, but the thing that stood out the most was the support. It felt like a Prairie Dog Classic, right? Like the whole town's behind it, because we walk into lunch that day and we hear the advertisement on the radio play. We look down at checkout at the Subway, and then there's the paper with us on the front cover.
Yeah.
So you had the advertisement of the radio, the newspaper, fans were buzzing. They saw the pace truck when I was with the guys last year, and you could just tell the whole town was behind it. And to really see the improvements they've done, that's exciting stuff.
Well, it almost had like a Mystery Alaska feel to it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Jake's interview that he did right after it was announced, and he told the story about how he got the fair board and the mayor together or whatever, and like, hey, we've got a chance to bring this here. And they just both, like, their jaws dropped, and they're like, you're bringing what, where?
Yeah.
And like, from there, it just snowballed from there, and it was almost like a 6-month party, like, in Norman County,
It's like it's either the World of Outlaws or Reba McEntire's in town.
Yeah, right. It was the biggest show since one of the Judds was there or something. So it was,
And you say that, it's funny because, everyone's like, where's that? I was standing on the back straightaway with Billy Moyer before I had to go set up. And I asked Billy, I'm like, Billy, have you been here? He's like, man, I've never even heard of this place. So for Billy Moyer, you know what I mean? It truly was a hidden gem because the race was good. And, it was one of those curse for the leaders. All the leaders just had trouble last year, but Nick Hoffman ended up surviving that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hell of a race. I'd love to get up there tonight if I could, but I have meetings to go to. Now, Ruben, now since you are with the World of Outlaws, I know, Steve, you're more behind the scenes kind of guy, but Ruben, are people starting to know who you are now when you walk into a restaurant somewhere?
Oh, man, it's not even about that. But, it's pretty cool. I mean, it happens with Steve all the time, too, though, for sidecast and stuff like that. I'm not to that level, but definitely is cool. You'll go to some places, definitely get recognized and take pictures and shockingly sign an autograph here and there. But, it is pretty cool.
It might not be a countrywide thing, but a lot of people in town here know who you are, Ruben.
Oh, yeah.
I might have the odd Ruben story to tell people when you guys are coming to the area. So just for the fans, we do this for the fans. I love the fans, and again, I'm never the show. The drivers of the show,
Sure.
The announcers, a big part of it. That's my mentality about it. But the thing is, they're paying their hard-earned money for these tickets, for these for television fast pass, things like that. My job, my philosophy is give them the stats, give them the stories, create that engagement and that spark, so they get, feel like they're getting their money's worth. And that's why I do the hard work that I do for the fans.
Okay, we're gonna just another question or two. I know you guys are awfully busy today, and we sure thank you for spending time with us. But Steve and Ruben both, how long do you see yourselves doing this? Because like me, I've done so many different jobs in my life with the radio, construction, and now doing the racing thing, and I feel very fortunate. And Ruben, you could probably say the same thing, that I can, even if my legs don't work that good anymore, I can still call races. But how long do you guys see yourselves being in this type of work?
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I probably see myself doing this, being a series director, probably another 5 years.
Okay.
Being involved in the sport, probably another 8 years.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, I've told Steve this. I mean, as long as he don't fire me, I'm a lifer. You know what I mean? I really, really want to do this. So, to the day I get, God willing, a long time.
Yeah, but I agree, man. That's kind of the way I feel about it too. I mean, when you find something that you absolutely love, and I mean, it's hard for me to say I'm going to work when I'm going to the racetrack, And compared to when it was back in the racing days, hell, now I'm guaranteed a check every night, so that even makes it that much better.
Right.
But so you guys,
Difference has been a driver in what I do now.
Yeah, right. So we want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I know you're going to knock them out at I-94 tonight. We'll be here at River Cities Speedway. Ruben, why don't you give me a call when you get to town tomorrow if you want, and I'll meet you over here. If we're not done fishing yet, I'll meet you here as soon as we're done. But so we will see you guys tomorrow night, and thanks again for hanging with us today.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Looking forward to River Cities.
All right, there you go. Man, that was awesome talking to these guys. World of Outlaw, Real American Beer, Late Model Director Steve Francis, and of course, Ruben Mireles, the World of Outlaw Late Model Announcer. What are you keyed up for tomorrow, buddy?
I mean, just the whole thing. It's always special when they come here. They came here for the first time in 2006. I graduated 4 days from high school, 4 days before they came here the first time, and that's where I got to meet Rick Eshelman for the first time, and him. He came here, from Michigan, and worked at the base, got relocated here, worked here from 82 to 85 and whatever, and then it was a homecoming every time he came back, and then when we lost him, it was so tough. But now with Ruben in that spot too, they couldn't have filled that spot better. But the late models when they come here is always just such a special thing.
When I found out about Rick, I had gotten a call that he was missing. Yeah. And I was sitting on an airplane, getting ready to fly from Minneapolis to Amsterdam. When I got the text. And I tell you what, I don't remember much about that flight. I drank myself into a coma, and I woke up over the Italian Alps. And boy, I tell you what, it just hasn't been the same. But Ruben Mireles, you talk about a guy that brings oomph and 100% enthusiasm to the game. 130%, like he says. Yeah. That's the guy right there.
Yeah, to say to say that Ruben has energy is an understatement and a half. Just watching watching the races on Dirt Vision there. Oh my goodness, that guy. Oh man, so much love.
Maybe we could get these guys in the studio one time. You never know, it might work. What do you do?
Yeah, he doesn't have to do it for you.
No, he doesn't
there.
have to.
Oh, okay.
That's only if you're over there.
Something I wanted to touch on with him more there. Me and him shared some time at the old company that I used to work for or whatever. So we, Ruben and I spent times in Arizona and Corpus Christi or whatever. And so I go way back with him, and just to see how far he's come and whatever, and how hard he's worked for it is just awesome. And I used to look forward to these guys coming here for Rick, and now I look forward to it for Ruben. So it's just awesome.
Bobby Pierce leads the World of Outlaw points with 5 wins. Nick Hoffman in second, Ryan Gust in third with a couple of wins, Drake Troutman in fourth place, Tim McCready with 2 wins is rounding out your top 5 for points for these guys. Just those names right there. Everybody's heard them.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
We all know who we're talking about there.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely a deep field every year, and it's going to be a good 4 nights around the area for sure.
All right, I want to thank everybody for texting today. We are looking forward to this. Thanks to Brad Sang for hooking us up with Steve Francis and Ruben Mireles. And again, thanks to Dale, the producer. Folks, if you're bored tonight, head to I-94 Raceway in Fergus Falls. Again, the World of Outlaw Late Models will be here tomorrow night. They will be in Ada on Saturday and Minot on Sunday, making a swing up here into the tundra. And I tell you what, there is going to be some good racing. We heard him talk about those open motors and things like that, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, John, I was going to bring up here. I don't know if you wanted to touch on since we got a little bit more time here. We brought up first-time feature winners with the go-karts, but also on with the Midwest mods and NOSA sprints over the last week, among other classes. Some noteworthy first-time feature winners that may be worth a shout out.
Well, I guess we could mention Weston Olson.
Yeah, that was
Might be
something
one right
I didn't
there.
realize. I didn't know if you guys were. If you were gonna have any ideas for the show or whatever, and then you got those two, like, I mean, that's a heck of a deal there. But like, I don't think we've ever had Weston on, so like, I think that's
we had tried the one time, and I had them lined up, and then I realized that the Outlaws were coming, and so
Yeah.
we had to make it an Outlaws show.
Yep.
But
Yep.
because I was going to get him and try to get him and Wade on at the same time is what
Yeah.
I was working on. But yeah, there was the first time winner right there, the race that nobody wanted to win.
but overall in that race, like, I mean, he led the whole thing. Every restart was flawless. Like, you can say what you want to, like, so and so and so and so weren't here, but like, I think that car looks so good. I think he would have competed with whoever
absolutely.
was here.
Jade,
that
Mark,
thing,
all of those guys.
That thing was on a rail.
Yeah.
So.
We knew there was probably going to be a new first-time winner, and for a while there were
Yeah.
like maybe 7 laps to go. I think the top 7 cars had never won at that time.
We had a 14 and 17 chance.
Yeah.
Because only the Eglins and Nick had won before, and
Sure.
it was looking really good that we were going to have something
Yep.
big happen.
And it worked
there.
out.
So.
It worked out. Also, we had who else won that first time in the Midwest Mod?
Kylan Vargason.
Kylan Vargason. That's
Yeah.
right, up in
Yeah.
Greenbush.
Yeah, he was super excited. That was nice to see, and they've worked so hard for it and whatever. And I told him the story when he when he walked into the gate that night. I always do when he comes up and draws wherever he is or whatever. But I remember when he wasn't tall enough to see over the draw counter or whatever.
Yeah.
And now here he is, taller than me and winning B-Mod races. So that was nice to see and whatever. But yeah, just a good weekend. I think we're missing a couple of the first time winners or whatever.
Oh, we probably are.
But it was just last week was just kind of one of those weeks where you see some of those moments that you keep going to the racetrack for, kind of thing. So
Yeah, it makes for some very, very priceless victory lanes.
and then Brandon Anderson last night too at the kart track is just
That kid works his tail
yeah.
off. I mean,
So-
he pretty much is on social media all the time with all the work that kid does on his karts. No, Grand Forks Best Source does not have tickets to give away. We haven't gotten any tickets yet this year to give away. We'll have to work on that. Brad, hook us up. Get on that.
And not a first-time winner yet, but like I said at the beginning, the way Camber's competing this year, I feel
Looking
like
good.
I feel like this year's the year.
And she got second yesterday.
Yeah,
her
yeah.
best finish in the win cart.
From third to last to second.
Yeah.
Like it was. That
was a very unique
just-
feature.
Yeah, that was so much fun to watch.
And it was good to
So.
see Tucker win the other night.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a first-time NLRA win.
Right.
So-
So good for him, and Kelsey's doing well. And
Actually, that's so funny. Okay, I apologize, I forgot or whatever. But if it wasn't going to be the Outlaw show, I was like, how about the first-time 27 winner show?
Yeah.
Because I went to update the NLRA and NOSA websites, and I put their car numbers in next to the next to their name or whatever, and I was like, wait a minute, both are going into the record books with the same number. I was like, well, we could have them both on or whatever, but
Yeah,
so.
that was a bizarre night at Devils Lake Speedway. Just 2 cautions the entire night. Only in the heats, all the features, no cautions. It was just like a bizarre night, but it was a lot of great racing. And Tucker just rocked it all last night.
Well,
last Saturday.
Both the features Tucker has won have come within a year and a couple days of each other. Started on the pole, green to checkered, Yeah, it just wild the way those two wins played out. But this one being sanctioned by the club was so cool to see and whatever. And he had to, he started on the pole, but he had to chase down Travis Robertson to do it. Travis led the first 7 laps or whatever, and they went door to door, and it just looked like a barn burner there. So, just an incredible week up here, and hopefully we can do it again this week. So
Heather says, hey, Steven, I remember when we pegged Ruben to take Rick's spot. How cool for us to pick it right. Pure Stocks only had one caution. Yeah. All right, we're going to get out of here. We got a lot of stuff going on today. Again, I want to thank Ruben Mireles. I want to thank Steve Francis, their World of Outlaw Real American Beer late model announcer and director. And, of course, our producer, Dale, the producer, Stephen Lewis, my co-host, Brad Sang. Thank you for hooking us up with Ruben and Steve. Again, Fergus tonight, River Cities tomorrow, 8 of Saturday, Minot on Sunday. Go on out and check the World of Outlaw Real American Beer late models. They are the best of the best late model drivers on the planet. You got to go check them out. If you've never seen them, I'm guaranteeing it, you are going to love it. Want to thank Rumor Sports Bar and Casino for bringing you today's Dirty Thursday episode. What a great place. Wall-to-wall TVs. Watch your favorite teams on TV. You can bus to UND Sports, the big name concerts, bet on the horses, play bingo, try your luck with charitable gaming. Great lunch and dinner specials with that $7 express lunch. They've got room for parties. Home of the world-famous Beer Tower. Monday is DJ Trivia Night. Initials game every second Tuesday night. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. What a great atmosphere and a great place. Open every day from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. And again, thank you, everybody, for showing up here. Is there Brew Brothers on tonight?
I think they're off tonight.
Okay, they're off tonight. Well, I'm off for the Shields Boundary Battle Catfish Tournament tomorrow. Maybe we'll see you at the track tomorrow night. I hope to see you at the track tomorrow night, all right? Remember to like, share, tag, and follow us. Hit that notification bell on your smartphone. You never miss a show that way. We absolutely love the Forks. Well, Grand Forks' best source is giving the Forks their identity back.